Hey guys, recently I decided to pull my retro consoles from the attic and introduce my son to the games I grew up with. I quickly realized letting a 4-year-old play with a 35-year-old console would almost surely end in its complete destruction, so I decided to invest in the classic console series made by Nintendo. So a few weeks ago, I purchased a NES Classic on eBay, and it turns out that I was scammed, as you'll soon see. I managed to get my hands on another NES Classic a few days later, and you guessed it, this one's real and this one's not. Today I'm going to compare these two consoles side by side to show you how you can avoid being ripped off like I was, so let's do it. At first glance, these two systems look the same, but once you start examining them closely, you start to spot some very important differences. The real console packaging is much more vibrant. The title pops out and it's even semi-holographic, but that's difficult to see on camera. The Nintendo seal is also incorrectly placed in the fake packaging. It's supposed to be on the left below the NES, but it's placed on the right where the ESRB rating seal should be. It's also very distorted and off color, but again, you're gonna have trouble identifying that through pictures. The next and perhaps most important detail is the product serial number. On the real console, you can see that it's a sticker on the cardboard box. This is obviously because it's a unique number that differs across thousands of units. The fake packaging, however, is printed directly onto the cardboard. This is a major red flag. If you see this, do not buy the console. All authentic NES Classic consoles must have the sticker on the packaging. This should have been my first clue, but I just didn't know that there was a market for fake consoles. And that's really it from the outside packaging. They went through a lot of trouble to make this as close to authentic as possible, but at the end of the day, the semi-holographic title and seal and the sticker are the small details that would normally be too expensive to reproduce en masse by counterfeiters. Luckily for us, however, there are much clearer ways of identifying a fake console inside the box. I can't stress this enough. If you have concerns or doubts about the legitimacy of the console, request pictures of what I'm about to show you along with timestamps. I'm going to start with the real NES Classic. I purchased this console off of the r/GameSwap subreddit from JackAttack7676. He was kind enough to take multiple pictures of the console with timestamps and prove to me that the console was indeed real. So thank you, JackAttack. So let's get it open. Here we have a poster and instruction manual. I'm going to go ahead and keep this sealed for collection purposes. Obviously, it's very easy to fake since it's just paper, so don't really worry about this. Let's take a look at the console instead. Obviously, it looks like a tiny Nintendo Entertainment System. The quality of the box is obviously great, but we're going to discuss the details when we actually compare both consoles. Moving on, we have a perfect recreation of the original NES controller. The console only comes with one controller, keep that in mind. In the back you can see the Nintendo copyright information, good stuff. Next, we have the USB AC adapter. You can see that this has a Nintendo logo on it. This is also very important. The console also comes with a micro USB cable. There's no branding on it, so don't worry about it. Finally, we have the HDMI cable. This one's very important because it's a Nintendo branded HDMI cable, just like you get with a Nintendo Switch. And that's everything that comes in the box. Later, I'm going to show you the console UI and games, but for now, let's take a look at the fake console and see how it differs. Okay, for what it's worth, the console did come with proper packaging, but I was so excited and ended up shredding a lot of it. So here's the console, and at first glance, it looks identical. It's very difficult to tell the difference between the real and fake console, so I gotta give the counterfeiters their props. The bottom copyright information is even embossed onto the plastic. I mean, this really does look exactly like the real thing. So here's a side-by-side comparison of the two consoles. On the left we have the fake console, and on the right we have the real one. Again, very difficult to differentiate, but there are some details that give it away. First, the weight. The fake console is extremely light. It feels as if it's hollow, and in fact it probably is. There's probably some cheap card in there. The real console is hefty and dense. You know, I'd love to see what's actually in here. Maybe that's a future video. Looking at the details, it's almost impossible to tell via images, but you can spot three minor things that will give it away. First, the Nintendo logo. It would be far too expensive for the counterfeiters to print the plastic with the logo, so it must have been stickered on. You see this kind of detailing with guitar headstalks and such, and because of this, you can tell that there's a dark shadow surrounding the logo, which indicates that it was slightly raised off the plastic, whereas the real NES has a smooth transition from the gray to red logo. The second minor detail is that the real NES Classic has the number 1 and 2 above the USB ports, whereas the fake console doesn't. Why they missed this tiny detail, I don't know, but there you go. Finally, the bottom copyright embossing. In the real console, the logo and the copyright information is separated by a line, whereas the fake simply has a smaller logo and no line. Next, let's take a look at the controllers. As you can see, we get 2 controllers. That is a big red flag, because an authentic NES Classic, as you recall, only comes with 1. Besides that, the controllers look perfect. The back copyright information is embossed and it doesn't feel bad at all. In fact, it feels pretty good. This is the scary thing about counterfeiters. Everything looks so perfect and it's so easy to get duped. But now we're going to start to see some of the cracks in the illusion. Take a look at the end of the controller cables. The real controllers have the Nintendo brand and the USB cable itself is smooth. The fake controller, of course, has no Nintendo branding and the USB cable is a tough, cheap cable. Next, we're going to look at some of the branded material. And yeah, right here is a dead giveaway that you have a fake console. The NES Classic did come with a My Nintendo code in its first release in 2016, but subsequent releases over the next year didn't include one. This looks legit. The copyright date of the code is 2016, but by complete chance, I ended up realizing that this was fake. Another YouTuber was showing off a console when I was researching this, and it just so happens he flashed his code on the screen. That's when I realized we both had the exact same code. If you get a console with this piece of paper, Google it. Google the code. If someone posts the same code, then you have a fake. Again, we have the poster and instructions. You know, these look identical and they're very easy to fake. So if you want a cool poster, you can get one in this box, but that's hardly the reason you bought it, right? Another dead giveaway is the AC USB adapter. As you can see, it's generic. No Nintendo branding at all. You can find these anywhere for cents on a dollar. The micro USB cable, again, generic, don't have to worry about it. And then the HDMI cable. No Nintendo branding on the cable. All NES Classics will come with Nintendo branded components. The exception, of course, being the micro USB, but the rest should all bear the Nintendo logo. It's extremely expensive to brand computer components, so this is the single best way to tell if the product is fake. So ask the seller for screenshots and timestamps. If they claim that they don't have the original cables, just walk away, it's not worth it. The very last physical console detail that differs between systems is the power light. I'm going to plug both consoles in so you can see how easy it is to spot a fake NES console. First, I'll plug in the real console and turn it on. It's hard to see on camera, but the power light is red, just like the original Nintendo Entertainment System. Now, let's plug in the fake console and you'll see that it's a white light instead. I don't know why they couldn't find a red LED, but all fake consoles come with a white light. So you need to make sure that you request a picture of the console turned on with a timestamp just to be sure. Okay, so now that we've thoroughly reviewed the physical consoles, let's go ahead and plug these into the monitor and we can spot the 100% easiest and clearest way to tell between the real console and the fake one. So I've loaded up the fake NES Classic UI. Right off the bat, you can tell that the UI looks like the real one, but you can immediately tell that the box art quality is very, very poor. You can't open the suspend point list, you can't sort via select, and the input delay on the console is really bad. Here you can see me smashing this controller trying to navigate through the menu. All of this is hard to see with just images, but the easiest way to prove that a console is fake is by looking at the main menu. Clicking on display brings this up. It's hilarious. It's just a blurry JPEG image of the menu. You can't select anything or do anything on this screen. Same thing goes for the options and language. The legal notice is perhaps the most damning picture of all because the text is so blurry. This is just poorly made. But you know what? Maybe you don't care if it's fake. You want to just play some 8-bit games, so let's try some out. Super Mario Bros. Is a classic, so let's try that first. Okay, right off the bat, the graphics look horrible. The colors are saturated, the image is poorly stretched out, and it feels like it's playing at 2 times normal speed. This surprised me. One would think that the emulator would be the easiest part of this. Just download SNES 9X and a free ROM online, right? Apparently not. I don't know what emulator this is using, but the quality is terrible. Well, just to be sure, let's try Mega Man 2 and see if it's any better. Nope. It's blurry and washed out too. I can't even play, the controls are so bad. This is complete garbage. I feel bad for anyone who, like me, got scammed into buying this thing. Now, to show you the difference in quality, let's take a look at the real NES Classic. Now this is Nintendo quality. You can see your suspend points, you can sort, the box art quality is great, you can navigate the menus with ease, the settings are all real and active, no blurred text, this is just night and day. Just to be sure, let's go ahead and play some Super Mario Bros. Now this is what I was looking for. Pixel perfect image and color. It plays smoothly. I would disregard that death there. I'm still a little rusty. Yeah, this is just miles ahead. Let's go ahead and look at Mega Man 2 now. Yeah, super clear graphics, no blurriness. This plays so much better than the fake console. Mega Man is naturally hard, but I feel completely in control of my movements. If you think that buying a counterfeit console is okay since you're gonna still get to play these classic games, you're wrong. The games look and feel horrible and you're not gonna be satisfied with your purchase. Trust me. And that's everything. To summarize, when buying an NES Classic online, always ask for the following: a screenshot of the product serial number, pictures of the front of the box, screenshots showing the front of the NES console powered on, screenshots of the component ends, screenshot of the game UI, and screenshot of the display menu. All of these should include timestamps. If the seller is unwilling to go to the effort to do this, then don't purchase the console. These things are only going to go up in price, so you want to make 100% sure that what you're buying is the real deal. Anyway, I hope this helps everyone. I plan on making a video dissecting the fake NES console further, but until then, see ya!